Well, hi there. This is Ernest Tubbs.
And Justin Tubb.
And we're both going to be on the Ralph Emery Show real soon.
We're looking forward to it, so don't you dare miss it.
Doggone you.
Hello, everybody. This is Ralph Emery. And a new theme song this week as we honor and welcome to our show America's Texas troubadour, Ernest Tubb. Ernest, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ralph. Nice to be with you.
Fact is, this is a family gathering. We're also welcoming Justin Tubb to this show.
Hello, Ralph.
You kin to him?
Just by birth.
What is it you tell him, Ernest, that he's your brother?
I used to kid him, and I said, that's my little brother, but I was trying to hide my age, and he was growing up too fast for me.
E.T., I'm awful glad you could come, and J.T., they call you J.T.,
That's
too.
what they call me, right.
I thought we would open this show. I suppose this would be a closing song, but it's one of my favorite Ernest Tubb records. I thought we'd open with Thanks a Lot. That's all right.
That's fine.
Ernest, don't you have that written on the back of your guitar?
I have the Thanks, which was on Jimmy's guitar, and that's where I got the idea.
Jimmy Rogers' guitar?
Jimmy Rogers' guitar. Just had Thanks, and then later I put it on my guitar also.
Now, at the end of the show, what do you do? Just turn
the guitar
over?
Mm-hmm.
And they see the big Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And you just put in the other part.
The Thanks a Lot album, they took the picture of the guitar, and then they put a lot underneath the sign on the guitar, the Thanks on the guitar.
I see. Well, where do you start with a legend? Ernest Tubb is a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame. And I don't know how long you've been in show business, Ernest.
Actually, I'd say professionally, Ralph, since about 1941, I would say.
J.T., how long have you been in show business?
Since 53.
You started as a disc jockey, didn't you?
Right.
A singing disc jockey.
Well, actually, I started writing songs first in 1951. So I guess I would go back that far then.
Have you ever gone by the handle Little Texas Troubadour?
When I was 8 years old. I grew out of that.
I presume it was always the plan for you to be in show business.
Well, for a while, I kind of rebelled against it because everybody said, well, he's going to be, just like his daddy. I heard it so much that I said, well, I'm going to show him that I can do something else. So I went to college at the University of Texas for about a year with the intention of becoming a writer. In fact, in high school, I was sports editor of our high school paper. And that's what I wanted to do, was get into sports and write. But I got waylaid after about 8 months at the University of Texas.
The music bug got him.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Actually, he sang from the time he was 3 years old till he was, I guess, about 11. And we used to have a show here on the WSM, the early shows before the Opry started, called Carter's Chick Program. And you used to put him in a chair and he'd sing on the show up until he was about 11. So one Saturday night we were coming in and he said, Daddy, you mind if I go to a show, picture show of this Western on Gene Autry or something down the street? And I said, go ahead. So the next Saturday he done the same thing. And I said, son, are you just dodging this show? I said, don't you want to sing anymore? He said, I'd rather not. I said, well, forget about it. You don't have to sing. And he said, I get embarrassed getting up in that chair. So he never did sing anymore until he was in college. And then all of a sudden he's got a band organized down there and playing for dances. Also going to college and playing for dances about 2 or 3 nights a week, I believe.
Right.
Justin Tubb is what?
I don't even think they call it Justin Tubb because I had a couple of cousins were down there with me. I think they call it the Tubb Boys.
Ex-Lincoln and Doug,
and Douglas Glenn were with me.
Justin, you want to sing a little bit right now?
I'd love to.
This is a good song. Where have I heard this song before?
A young man by the name of Bobby Penn put it out about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it was sort of a regional hit. It didn't hit all over, but it hit with me. And I said, if I ever get a chance to record it, I'm going to.
Ernest, why don't you introduce somebody? You ever been a disc jockey?
I don't believe. Yes, I have been.
With Jerry Thomas.
I used to do work with Jerry out there. Also, I used to tape a show for the station that Hank Snow and I had over in Kentucky.
That's right.
We used to tape a DJ show.
You used to own some radio stations.
Yeah, Hank and I had a couple of them, and I got rid of my part. I think he's got rid of his finally. But I'd be happy to introduce this little lady if I think I'm right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a pretty one and she can sing. I think this is one of the best things she's had in a good while too. What a man my man is, Glenn Anderson.
Ernest, I want to ask you about Merle Haggard. Merle Haggard, who is the rage, began his career in the mid-'60s as the rage of the '70s. Does he compare to any of the old-time singers?
I certainly think so, Ralph. I was talking with a country DJ here last week, and he said, you've helped people and sort of picked out some of the people that wound up on the Grand Ole Opry, and I said yes. And he asked me then, he remembered Hank Williams and then Johnny Cash that I was instrumental in bringing to the Grand Ole Opry. And then he said, what do you think about? I said, who do you think's that you could compare along those lines with any of the newer boys? I said, well, I think Merle Haggard. To me, Merle Haggard is the greatest country artist that's come along following Johnny Cash. This boy has a lot of talent.
That's a nice tribute to Mr. Haggard.
Well, he deserves it. He really does.
Dolly Parton wrote this song. In fact, she plays guitar on here, but you can't hear her very well. Justin, I want to ask you about a song you made up one time. And I think your agents at that time were Lucky and Larry Moeller.
Oh, my goodness.
And you made up this little song based on a popular song of the day. Do you recall what I'm talking about?
Yes, I sure
Hello,
do.
Lucky.
Hello, Lucky. Hello, Larry. Here I am.
What was the takeoff on?
Hello, Mama. Hello, Papa. It's about the kid that went to summer camp. I forget the guy's name that did it, but he did a lot of parody records, and it was a kid writing home, telling how things were at camp.
How did yours go?
It was a long, drawn-out thing, but our best first verse was Hello, Lucky. Hello, Larry. Here I am in Tucumcari or something.
It was Alan Sherman did that.
Alan Sherman, that's
I want you to sing a little of it.
Oh, me. Well, let's see. It went, hello, Lucky. Hello, Larry. Here I am in Tucumcari. And this band is BC Vintage. And I'm tired of working show dates on percentage. That's all I can think of.
You like to write parodies?
Yeah, I get a kick out of it. It's kind of a good workout with rhyming patterns and different words.
Have you written any lately?
No. After Moeller dropped me from their booking agency after I wrote that one, well, I quit writing them for a while. No, I'm just kidding.
You're listening to the Ralph Emery Show with the Tubbs here. Ernest, does it bug you when some of your Yankee fans call you Ernie Tubbs?
Well, it used to, but I'm sort of getting used to it now because a lot of them do it,
Well, they mean well by it, don't they?
They do. They're just being friendly.
Because I've heard more of them say to me, I love that Ernie Tubbs.
What really bugs me, Ralph, is when they put up on the marquee, put an A in Ernest and an S on Tubb, They get both names wrong.
It's Ernest.
Right, Tubb.
Okay.
I spelled it for a guy one time. He's, Ernest Tubbs.
Ernest, we're going to take a serious moment in this show. We're going to make a moment that's very serious. You entered the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1968, I believe.
1965, Ralph. 1965.
You sure about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing I'll remember for a long time.
I guess you were pretty excited, weren't you?
I certainly was. It was. I was so excited I couldn't talk. Justin used to accuse me of talking too much on the midnight show. I said, you don't have to worry tonight, son. I can't think of a thing to say.
What do you recall what you did say?
Well, the best I remember, I said, I appreciate being, getting elected to the Hall of Fame. I probably don't deserve it, but I'm glad somebody thought I did.
Well, what we have here, before Tex Ritter died, we put together an album in tribute to all the members of the Hall of Fame at that time. We did this series about 2 or 3 years ago, and Tex Ritter came into this very studio, and what he is reading here is what is written on the big bronze plaque at the Country Music Hall of Fame. So here is Tex Ritter with his tribute to Ernest Tubb.
Ernest Tubb, February the 9th, 1914. The Texas troubadour, that tall man with a distinctive voice and style, who became a giant among the early performers of country and western music, and whose career has never diminished from the succeeding years. To his millions of fans, he has become a legend. Their love is boundless. To the fledgling artist, songwriter, or friend, his hand and his help have always been extended. Their gratitude is universal. Elected to the Hall of Fame in 1965, Ernest Tubb.
Well, that's a classic recording, and I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about, first of all, 1964, when Tex Ritter entered the Hall of Fame. You apparently were in cahoots with a lot of people to get him down to the auditorium, weren't you, Ernest?
It was at the theater, I believe.
Tennessee Theater.
Tennessee Theater, and they were showing I think that was the night they was also going to No, they had a show the night before. Anyhow, it was Hank Williams' Cheating Heart was showing there, or had showed the night before or something. And yes, I was there, and old Hank was, Tex was back there talking, and when they read the...
Well, didn't they tell Tex that you were to be...
Yeah, they told Tex, and so Tex, they told him to be sure and get me, so he walked up, when they got to the end of it, he walked up to lead me up to the stage, and they said Tex Ritter, and he said, well, wait a minute, what's the matter? He said, that's supposed to be you. And he was really kind of shook up,
And that's when he went into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, right.
And you went in a year later then.
Right, and this is the first time that I've heard this cut on the album, Ralph, a tribute, and I could think of no one that I'd rather have do this introduction than Tex Ritter. He's the greatest when it comes to something like this.
You wrote that song, didn't you?
Oh, yes,
When was it a hit?
The fall of 1941.
Right before World War II, then?
In fact, World War II just about killed it, and they didn't sell 1 million records till after the war was over, because when the war broke out, they cut the material shortage. We had a shellac shortage. They only pressed 10% of my records till the war was over. And so finally, after the war was over, I finally sold over 1 million records.
I see. That's a long time to wait.
It was.
You've heard Ernest Tubb and a country music classic, Walkin' the Floor Over You. Justin, we'll ask you to talk about your music, and then we'll play Travelin Singin Man.
All righty.
What do you want to say about it?
Well, it's a special song with me. I wrote it for my wife. She kept after me for a couple of years, and why don't you write a song for me? And I said, well, I just can't get in the mood. I said, the phone's always ringing, or you want me to do something, or our little boy is getting in the way. So she went to Georgia to visit her sister for about a week. And while she was gone, I got lonesome, and I wrote this song for her.
It starts out a little bit like an old song we discussed.
Yeah, right.
That Bobby Goldsboro wrote. But
just the first line or two, and then it wanders off in another direction.
I wasn't accusing you of proselyting.
Well, I didn't realize it until after the record was out and somebody called my attention to it.
I can't even think of the name of that other song.
I can't either.
Well, we won't discuss it then.
Let's don't. I might get sued.
Justin Tubb on this show with Travelin Singin Man. Justin, are you frustrated at being Ernest Tubbs' son, or have you been?
Well, I have
living in the shadow.
My moments when it does bother me a little bit. When I feel like maybe that I'm not being appreciated for what I can really do,
I know one time, I'm going to quote you.
Probably.
A long time ago, you said, I wish I could be somebody besides Ernest Tubbs' son and Goldie Hill's singing partner.
Right. I'll take that. I can understand, his feeling there. But I think I don't think it bothers him really now as it did when he was, younger and starting out.
I thought Hank Williams Jr. said it very well when he recorded a song called Standing in the Shadows.
Right.
About his daddy.
I thought that was great. Sure was.
Ernest, I want you to talk a little bit about your music. We're going to play an old song called You Nearly Lose Your Mind.
Well, Ralph, about all I guess I should say there is I wrote that back in Fort Worth, Texas, back about 1941.
Was this one of the early ETs?
This is one of the... Well, I remember I played a show with Bob Wills in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I only had about 2 records out then, I guess, and I sang... They wanted 3 or 4 songs, so I sang this song hadn't even been released yet, but I sang it as a good stage song, so I sang it anyhow, and it actually got the best hand on this one song than it did the others that they were familiar with,
We've got to go. We've stayed about all that we can stay. Ernest, I appreciate very much your coming on the show.
Enjoyed it very much, Ralph.
Justin, I look forward to seeing you folks back tomorrow.
I'll be here, and this hour has gone so fast.
You all riding together?
Yeah.
Our show presented by Beech Nut Chewing Tobacco, by Camphor Finique, the Holiday Inns, and Vaseline Hair Tonic. We'll see you tomorrow.